the breakdown where Lawrence has read chapters 291 through 300 of Bleach for the first time. Lawrence, how are you?
Oh yeah, I'm doing great. Yeah, definitely excited to get into these 10 chapters.
Yes. So where we last left off in 281 through 290, Ichigo defeats Grimjow, but Nnoitra arrives. Nell is revealed to be a former Espada whose mask was broken by Nnoitra in the past. Nell reverts into her original form under duress from seeing Ichigo almost basically on the brink of death from Nnoitra. And meanwhile, Sazyeleporo returns to fight Uryu and Renji. He undergoes his release and creates clones of everyone on the battlefield. Let's start things off with the poem for volume 33, The Bad Joke. It was a medium length one. I am an insect, swinging around with no nature, desiring evil, descending, creeping like a worm, revolving. My neck is stretching higher than the moon until no more sympathy is visible. I run from you bastards.
Yeah, that's definitely from the perspective of Nnoitra, seemingly that poem, how he's kind of I think there's also further foreshadowing into like what's going on with him ability wise as well. But yeah, it's definitely can tell us from the Nnoitra's kind of perverted and twisted perspective.
Yeah. I do like this one. We're not going to talk about it today, but Nnoitra very much insect related.
Yeah.
All right. So starting things off, what do you think of the reveal that Nell is or was the number 3 Espada?
Yeah, I mean, I think when you asked me what my prediction was, I was like between 5 and 3, and I ended up going with 5.
So close.
I was really close, but yeah, I could see that. It would kind of make sense, like because I would expect she would have to have been really powerful for him to go through such underhanded methods to take her out, because he seems like the kind of person that would kind of relish like a straight up fight if he could have taken her out in like a 1-to-1 battle. So it made sense to me that she would be number 3.
Yeah. So Nell is revealed to be the number 3 Espada. She begins fighting Nnoitra, landing a direct blow on him right off the bat and knocking him pretty far away. He responds with a Sero, which he fires from his tongue. So that's a pretty good visual there.
Yeah.
And even as an adult, Nell is able to use her Sero doubling ability, which she fires it back. Tesla runs over to check on Nnoitra. Meanwhile, Nell hops on Ichigo like she's still a child.
Yeah.
To Ichigo's pain and Orihime's embarrassment and jealousy.
Yeah, equal amounts of both.
But Nnoitra rises from the ashes and they resume their fight in earnest. We then switch away real quick to the Sazyeleporo. I think my stuff is out of order. Yeah. We then switch away to the Sazyeleporo fight where we see the clones. It's Attack of the Clones. What did you think of the differences in the clones that Uryu points out? Renji's eye tattoos are different.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Was there more I supposed to read into that other than the like?
I mean, just to talk about the clones in general.
Oh, okay. So, I mean, yeah, like, it's typical clone stuff where in terms of like they have like their similar abilities, but they aren't like anywhere near as strong or as capable like mentally as their normal counterparts. And of course, every time you kill one, they multiply. I like how it kind of ended with what's the Spada's name again? What's this guy?
Sazyeleporo.
Kind of just getting bored with it and just being like, oh, I'm gonna beat you some other way. This is getting tiresome. It's kind of ended by
Renji
using his Bankai to kind of just like destroy the castle.
Then all of the other clones start using the Bankai because they were pretty much just mirroring what the originals did.
Yeah. So yeah, I think after that,
Smart
yeah,
move from
smart
Renji.
move. Yeah, smart move from Renji. Of course, Uryu is like unimpressed. He's like, "You nearly killed me. You're
Mm,
just like Ichigo." Renji, of course, doesn't take that well, but yeah. So yeah, you know, it was a fun trip down Clone Lane, but I was
yeah.
happy when it kind of went moved on to something else.
Yeah. Sazio Poro then moves on to the real ability of his release, Fornicorus,
Hmm.
where he swallows up Uri with one of his tendrils and spits him back out to produce a doll.
Yeah,
The doll. What was your first thought when you saw that? Oh, here's a little chibi Uri doll.
yeah. I was like, oh, so he's going into like the what's that called? Like the shaman kind of, like a
Voodoo.
miniature voodoo. He's going
Yeah,
to like the voodoo kind of thing, So I was expecting
you were
like
right.
what ultimately happened. Expected was what I expected to happen.
It's a pretty good moment when, after demonstrating how the doll works, when he
Hmm.
twists it until it
Yeah,
pops and then nothing happens.
yeah, that was a troll. That was a great troll.
Yeah, and then he reaches into the little things and then crushes one, and that's like, oh
Yeah.
shit, it would have been better if he
Hmm.
just popped.
Hmm.
Um, we then zip back to the fight to Nnoitra, where this part of this is why I really like a lot of the stuff surrounding Nnoitra. Like his fight overall encompasses pretty much like 30 something chapters,
Right.
even though there's a lot spiced in. So it really feels drawn out in the sense that we're spending a lot of time with him. I mean, think about it from like the standpoint of, I was reading this weekly. This was something that lasted like,
Probably a
math is
year.
hard. Yeah, this is something that lasted like half a year.
Yeah. Well,
So
30 chapters. That's like over. If there were breaks in between too, there was probably like at
yeah,
least like 4/5 of a year.
or was it really 30? Yeah, yeah. I mean, yeah. This is something that lasted nearly 30 chapters, so it's more than half a year. Like you said, maybe like even 3/4 of the year. So like,
Yeah.
imagine from my standpoint, I'm spending that long going back and forth between this fight.
Right.
And so on a week to week basis, getting stuff like this, where you have this is a great title page with the
Yeah.
quote and the art.
Right.
If you call me
I can see
Beast,
it.
kill you like Tempest.
Hmm.
We then get the flashback to Nell's time as an Espada against Nnoitra, where they used to fight together there as well. Nnoitra would lose then, and he would want Nell to finish him off, and she wouldn't, because her explanation was that people need a reason to fight. You fight based on instinct. You're a beast. As a warrior, it doesn't do me any good to kill a beast.
Hmm.
So just, even more of a put down on Nnoitra.
Yeah.
She is looking for Pesce and Nanoshaka, who are her subordinates as an Espada. And Nnoitra is there. She finds Pesce and Nanoshaka with their maps entirely ripped off forcibly. And with help from a device by Sazio Poro, he manages to hit her from behind without her knowing it and cracking her mask, severely injuring her. Sazio Poro, I guess at this point, was a Priveron, because there's mention of him being no longer an Espada. So
Yeah.
he did this for research purposes, as well as a chance, I guess, to get further into the Espada.
Yeah. Move up the ladder.
Yeah. And Nnoitra casts the three of them out of Las Noches and manages to see that Nell reverts to a child and figures he'll never see her again.
Yeah. Yeah. So like, yeah, two points of questioning here. One, so am I to understand that this is pre Aizen? Is Aizen connected to the Espadas at this point, or is this before Aizen?
Yeah, the series is a little loose on that. I will say that later on you will find out who was ruling Hueco Mundo before Aizen showed up.
Okay.
I'm not sure if the Espada existed in that format, because it's kind of talked about when they first introduced that the Espada are the Arankar who Aizen deemed the strongest and put numbers on them. So it's
Yeah. So it's
yeah.
okay. So this is definitely fast and loose. And
Yeah.
then yeah, so and I also like the kind of point where where during their fight Nell and Nnoitra kind of discuss how they were both like Irankars that were initially humans at some point,
Mm-hmm.
like So I thought that was kind of an interesting like point, you know, because you had like you can tell like now you see a few different paths to how you become like an Espada. Like you had Grimjaw, who was like went from like hollow to like like moving up the food chain by like eating his huh?
Yeah, from what Nell's talking about is more about, I think, you know, we were sane people, then we were beasts, and now we're sane again.
Yeah.
You know, I won't indulge in the beasts anymore.
Right. No, that's what I'm like. That's what I'm saying in terms of like that you see that there are different paths in terms of
Yeah.
like how you got to that level, and so it kind of like adds another layer that like you know maybe like Nnoitra like the first point he puts very toxic masculinity point is that he wants to beat her because he doesn't want to lose to a woman. That was a fun
Oh yeah,
little
he's
that
he's
yeah.
just a
So
misogynist.
there is that aspect to it, but I think there's also kind of another aspect to it where he's like he feels like this is another person that was a sane human at one point, and now they like believe they're better than me because they're like they see themselves as more like sane, more civilized, while they view me as a beast, and he kind of like resents that like that narrative, I think, as well of like in terms of in terms of like we both started off from the same point and now we're both espadas, but you still think you're like better than me, you still think that you are superior to me like mentally and you have like yeah, as I said, like more civility and that makes you like a better person, a better espada, a better quote unquote person. So I
Mhm.
think he also like has that resentment as well in terms of like why he views Nell with such disdain.
Yeah, well, he started. They all started from the bottom, and now they're there.
Yeah,
Um,
exactly.
what are you thinking about Neutra as you're further into it?
No, I mean, like after this game, the flashback. I mean, of course, I was like, "Oh, this guy sucks." He's more of a
Mm,
bastard, of course.
yeah.
But you know, I kind of like the more like depth they're giving him in terms of like just like why, like just showing like kind of how twisted he is and like
Mhm.
and I think it would be interesting if we got like one more like one or two more flashbacks, like probably like one more flashback from him to kind of like maybe see like how he rose up the ranks and like similar to like a Grimjow like flashback where we got to see him from his beginnings to like how he reached his power level in terms of getting to this spot and like what costs there was for him. Like I definitely would like to see something like that for Nnoitra, just to like get even further understanding of as to like why he's such a bastard, why he's so evil, or if it's just that he is truly just like evil incarnate. Yeah, definitely would like to get something like that from him.
Yeah. After the flashback ends, Nell decides it's time to end this. She goes into her release form, where her animal is revealed to be, as it kind of was hinted at all along, a ram.
Mm-hmm.
So we see her ram form here, where she has a lance, which is a pretty cool weapon.
Yeah,
What did you think of her release?
definitely the best release I've seen so far from the Espada. Definitely the one I've been most coolest looking, and yeah, definitely a great one.
So she throws her spear at Nnoitra. It's a pretty big blow.
Mm-hmm.
She then wants to finish it fully, but before she transforms back, she reverts back into her child form,
Yeah.
and Nnoitra proceeds to just kick her around literally
Mm-hmm.
as a small child. We then zip back to the Saziel Poro fight, where Pesce and Dundashaka have sensed Nell's original energy. They decide it's time to end this fight to go and save her. So Pesce pulls something from his pants in a pretty
Mm-hmm.
great panel that discusses even the Saziel Poro. It's revealed to be a sword, but he lands a blow there. Dundashaka reveals that the sandworm actually lives inside of him, as a bunch of other worms do. He pulls out a bludgeon from his own body, and they take down two of Saziel Poro's creation guardians. They do a combination Sero on Saziel Poro, who brushes it off easily, but even though they think the battle had won. What did you think of this quick fight here with Pesce and Shaka.
Yeah, I really liked it in terms of like, you kind of got the reveal of like they're not just these fools that have just been like kind of wandering around humoring Nell while she was in her like nascent state. They've been planning, they've been working in the background to improve so that they're never taken advantage of or kind of falling into traps like ever again. They're so you could tell they put the work in. And yeah, I really like them. I like the development they've gotten and how they have fun with it, but they also can back it up. So yeah, good stuff from Pesce and Donadoka.
Yeah. We then go back to the Nnoitra area where Ichigo and Nell are both just getting kicked around some more. Nnoitra decides he's done with them. They're not worth killing. He'll let Tesla do it. So he switches places. He gags Orihime, not just with his hand over her mouth like other people have done. He just sticks his fingers down her mouth in a pretty gross way.
Yeah.
I just think it's little things like that really help flesh out his character and who he is as a person.
Yeah.
And I guess I like that in the sense of you don't really get that for most of the other Espadas. Nnoitra, I think, is the only other person who really gets that level of little detail given to them. Right. Even though Grimmjow's a pretty prominent person, we don't have lots of little moments with him. I would say to the level that Nnoitra or Ulquiorra get, yeah. So Tesla goes into his release form. Pretty big change. He's like this. He becomes this monstrous thing,
right?
And he starts literally just snapping Ichigo's arms and legs with his, just like this.
Yeah.
And he's about to deliver the death blow when suddenly Zaraki arrives. This was a huge oh shit moment reading it.
Yeah.
What did you think of the captain showing up?
I mean, I felt like once they were like all kind of like losing their fight, like there was definitely like a part, like a huge part of me in the background was like, okay, these captains are about to show up like right now, because it's like there's no way that like Ichigo is about to get taken out, Uryu and Renji are about to like die, Rukia is, if not already dead, is like this close to death as well. I was like, they have to get saved by someone. There's no way. So I wasn't like shocked that they were happening, but it was definitely like a welcome sight of relief. Finally we get some captains in the mix to save the day. The Soul Society's getting their shit together a little bit finally.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Zaraki's there. Tesla's like, who are you? I'll crush you. And Nnoitra realizes what's up. He tells him to get away. Interesting here that he does have some concern for Tesla, despite hating Tesla, it seems. If he ever tries to interfere or show concern for him, even though he shows concern for Tesla. Zaraki pretty easily dispatches him in one slice. And we get an explanation from Zaraki that Urahara told... when Urahara was told by Yamamoto that there would be 3 months until he could get portals to... It would be 3 months until the battle.
Mm-hmm.
He told him that it would be 1 month for him to get portals to Huecamundo for the captain class people. He pulled it off even faster because here they are. So it turns out that the real reason they didn't want Ichigo to go was that they couldn't provide backup right away. See?
Oh, whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, like, okay, if that's like the real reason, then be like open with the man. Like, just tell him. But
just think about it from how great of a reveal it is when they show up. Could you have had that great of a reveal otherwise? No.
I guess not. I guess, whatever.
So the captains who arrive are Zaraki, Kenpachi, Byakuya, and Unohana. Saziel Puro is at a point where he has also turned Renji into a doll, and he has finished with Uryu and is messing around with Renji. Zamari arrives to inspect Aranello and Rukio, finds that Rukia is still alive, and he wants to deliver the finishing blow. And I always forget this character's name, unfortunately, but I'll need to see
Like talking
this.
about when the encounters Unohana or the.
Yeah. Okay, I think it is. Yes, it is Rudborn Shalut.
Mm-hmm.
I'm trying. He has a specific name to what he is. He's called. It's the Exequus. So that's what he's more known about. The Exequus. He's the leader of them. He's there to finish up Chad as well as Chad's opponent, who is apparently still alive. And Unohana arrives. Upon seeing Unohana there, he and his division, he and his Exequus just flee. And Unohana tells Isane, "Don't worry about it. We're not here to fight. We're here to heal." Mayuri and Kurtsuchi have a banter off of trying to one up each other. Sosio doesn't want to hear Mayuri's name, but Mayuri wants to hear his so that he can know what to label him when he preserves him in a jar.
Yeah.
So it's a pretty great matchup already there.
Yeah. I mean, like I said, they're kind of like counterparts to each other. Like they're like mirror images, except on different sides of the coin. So yeah, I like that.
We'll talk more about their fight tomorrow, which is a doozy of a fight.
It's a fun fight, yeah.
Yeah. And some are we getting to tomorrow yet? Not just yet. So Nnoitra seems pretty excited at the chance to fight Zaraki because I think he also senses that they are kind of alike in their bloodlust.
I think I initially said Grimjow was kind of like, I think Grimjow is like the more accurate like mirror to Zaraki in terms because they both like are kind of like still have like a somewhat of a, maybe not goodness is too far, but they have like some sort of like moral like thing guiding them slightly, while like I feel like a Nnoitra is like almost like the bastardized version of like Zaraki in terms of like if he like just like had completely disregard and like Zaraki, if he was fighting someone, he wanted to fight someone full strength so that he could like test his ability, like iron sharpening iron kind of thing. While his Nnoitra would like doesn't care, like he just wants to win, like he doesn't care about like the means to like what gets in the W. You know, that's like I feel like different.
Where they're both more alike is that they both have a primal desire for the fight.
But Grimjow too does have that too, though.
Right? I don't think Grimjow has it to the level that Nnoitra and
Zaraki have it.
Yeah, they go into sort of a form of ecstasy and glee almost in their fights.
I can see that.
So we then go to Zamari and Byakuya. Zamari tells Byakuya, "No, I wasn't the one who made Rukia like this, but I was about to deliver the finishing blow." And Byakuya says, "Well, guess it's on." And they begin their fight pretty quickly. What did you think of the Shunpo battle they had here, the speed battle where they keep appearing behind one another?
Yeah, there's definitely just like a dick measuring contest, kind of like, you know, they're like I'm quicker than you, my Shunpo's better than you, blah, 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 you know. But it was fun. I kind of like I kind of like enjoy Byakuya like talking shit now, you know. At first it was a little off putting earlier when it was like the between Ichigo and the whole like Rukia thing, because like I felt like he should have had more like personal feelings invested, but now I'm kind of enjoying like Byakuya just talking his shit, you know. So yeah, I'm fine with it.
Yeah, I'm gonna try and put this on screen real quick. This is I guess a semi-popular GIF. Let me go back. You know, that's pretty much that in a nutshell.
Yeah.
So
like,
yeah, they have their little speed measuring contest.
Yeah.
And another hellish transformation here from Zamari, who reveals himself as the number 7 Espada.
Yeah.
Which you guess he was number 8, so pretty close.
Right. It was like pumpkin form. He looks like a pumpkin with like a huge stem, kind of. You know?
Yeah, I don't know what animal he's meant to represent. Maybe an octopus,
like armadillo or something. I don't know.
Yeah, he goes into his form by breaking his neck. Yeah. He's definitely modeled after voodoo and witchcraft because his released command is brujeria, if I remember correctly.
Yeah.
So yeah, he goes into this form. He's got a bunch of eyes, and it's revealed that the purpose of the eyes is that when they open and they see something, a mark appears on them, a mark of love, because he can then take command of whatever the mark has been hit by.
Correct.
What do you think of this?
It was cool. He can take, I feel like we'll get into that more in the next 10, but yeah, for now I was like, oh, that's cool. And then does he disable his leg yet?
Yeah, Yakio's leg is the first thing to be hit by this,
Yeah.
and he slashes his own leg to render it useless.
Yeah, I like that was the more interesting part for me. Like Byakuya, the way he countered it by just like swiftly, taking out his leg. Even though I'm like, you would think you're fighting in like so powerful a spot that you would want like all use of your legs, but it made sense to me. It's better off like to just like lose control of that, and he's a powerful enough figure that I imagine that he was going to find some way to kind of you know avoid just failing due to that weakness.
Yeah. They once said that music makes you lose control, but other things can make you lose control too.
Yeah. Let's go.
Do you have anything you want to touch upon before we wrap up?
No, I mean, it was interesting that Hanataro is now like Byakuya's
Yeah, I don't understand that.
Yeah, I mean, like, so he went from like the fourth division, like to the weakling healing division, to now being like Byakuya's. I don't even know what level. Like, is he his assistant now?
He's basically his aide.
His aide, not being Byakuya's aide. I mean, I can see it from the perspective of like, uh, he was one of the major forces in saving Rukia, and he probably feels like some sort of debt to him because he was definitely like one of the leading factors in why she didn't get executed at like the. I mean, obviously Ichigo is the main one, but he was like integral in like getting Ichigo to that point, and maybe he feels some sort of like debt to him, and like wants to like guide him and like see him kind of like succeed. So I could see it from that perspective.
All right. Well, it sounds like we're good to wrap it up today when we're going to have a special double-sized edition tomorrow to discuss chapters 301 through negative 107. I'll explain that to you in a sec off the call.
Gotcha.
All right. Have a good one, people. Bye.
All right, we'll go on.